Assassin's Creed Shadows is just a complete mess, guys, and it seems like every other day, every week, this is just the game that just keeps on giving, right? And you know what? We're gonna talk about it some more because there's this interesting article that I found on the Park Place. Shout out to them; they just provide so much good articles out there for us to talk about and give thoughts about. And Assassin's Creed Shadows is one of those games I was looking forward to the most. You could see that the boss of the entire game is claiming that DEI is killing the game, not only doubles down on it, but also attacks critics. And of course, they're going to attack their critics. This is how these people operate. They hate gamers. They hate all of us guys because we're the ones that they're making games out of spite for. They're purposely making games DEI infested. They're purposely putting all this diversity and all this crap in it just to spite us. I mean, look at Dustborn, look at Concord, look at Suicide Squad. There's no doubt in our minds, guys, that they're purposely just making stuff terrible to piss us off. We even heard the rumors with Assassin's Creed Hex, which is the next one, that they're purposely making it about female coven of witches just to be like, fuck you to men, right? Anyways, let's look at this article. This says that the boss, Marc-Alexis Côté, hope I'm saying his name right, admitted that the company's injection of DEI into Assassin's Creed Shadows is harming the game's potential, but declared that they plan to double down on it, and they attacked their critics. These guys will not take no for an answer. I mean, they're persistent, right? They will be like, hey, we're putting DEI into this nonsense no matter what. Because for whatever reason, I think it started like in 2020. They all made an initiative to be more diverse and inclusive and all this cringe buzzword crap. And they're spending money, time, resources. They're hiring literal activists to be developers and community managers and people in charge of running these companies. They're worried about every single thing except making a great game. I'm hoping Tencent buys Ubisoft. I'm hoping they buy it, and I hope Tencent turns things around because I'm tired of it. Now, this was reported by Eurogamer saying that Côté made an appearance at a BAFTA event where he shared that discussions of Ubisoft's DEI policies can influence how our games are perceived, essentially. So he said, yeah, they could influence how our gamers or our games are perceived. That it causes and a perception because it literally is like shoehorned in when you have stuff like Yasuke in Assassin's Creed Shadows. Like it's obvious why they're doing it because it's a black guy. And that's not to be racist. That's not to hate black people. But the main reason why they stuck with the Yasuke narrative, even though it's debatable that he was a samurai or not, because he's a black guy. And he goes on to say that rather than shy away from the conversations that DEI bring, that they should see them as an opportunity. What do you mean as an opportunity? An opportunity to annoy people, to turn people away, to make your stock an all-time decade low like it currently is? Fill me in on that, because it seems like all these people want to do is just make political statements. And our entertainment is not the time or place. Too many people are doing that now with music, movies, TV, video games, you name it. Now, from there, apparently he attempted to gaslight people, according to this article, in attendance by stating Assassin's Creed has always been about exploring the full spectrum of human history, and by its very nature, that history is diverse. Staying true to history means embracing the richness of human perspectives without compromise. Okay, that's true, but the only people that try to rewrite history and cancel history are literally the wokies. That's why you see statues of like Thomas Jefferson and other colonial figures being torn down. They want to take stuff out of textbooks. They're the only ones that want to change history. They don't embrace history. If you look at it, they literally are censoring and changing stuff because they don't like colonizers and the white people and all that. And it's a problem that has been eminent at least since the last 4 years. So there is compromise. It's the compromise to make you guys not offended. It's the compromise so that you guys are happy with what is out there as far as history goes. Now, continuing on, he says, for example, in Assassin's Creed Shadows, we highlight figures both fictional, like Naoe, who's the Japanese female protagonist, and Yasuke, who's the African-born samurai, as they call it, which, again, there's no proof that he was a samurai. And they're saying the inclusion of a black samurai in feudal Japan has sparked questions and even controversy. And I think that's putting it lightly. It's literally caused a point of contention to where even the Japanese government went and like looked at it. And there was a petition with hundreds of thousands of signatures. But then he also says Naoe, as a fictional character, has also faced scrutiny for her gender. I haven't seen that too much. I'm okay with a female protagonist if it's not shoehorned in, and that the best thing about her is that she's a female. Write a good character, write a good story, give us something to enjoy, to look at, right? Now, he did justify her character, saying, just as Yasuke's presence in Japanese history is fact, so too are the stories of women who defied social expectations and took up arms in times of conflict. So okay. All right. So what's the big deal? You see how they're shying away from Yasuke? They're saying, well, both Naoe and Yasuke's stories are works of historical fiction. They reflect the collision of different worlds, cultures, and roles, and their inclusion is precisely the kind of narrative that Assassin's Creed seeks to tell, one that reflects the complexity and interconnectedness of our shared history. Now, look, okay, it's not so much the fact that there's a black protagonist as the main character. It's the fact that you've seen all the shady stuff with Thomas Lockley where there is no fact about him. Like, they're literally purposely trying to fit this Yasuke narrative and make him some kind of like legendary figure when he really wasn't that big of a deal. You've seen all these Japanese people get shut away. You've seen how this company's acted towards Japanese gamers. You've seen how this company's acted towards anybody even question it, where they're blocking people off of their subreddits. It's not so much that they're going woke with adding a female and a protagonist that is African-American or black. It's the way they're handling it. It's the way that they're doing it. It's the way that you see their community managers and employees saying and doing stupid stuff in the lead up to this game. It literally is that. And that's the issue. Now, Côté says, it's always been woke, which is the excuse that all the wokies say. The series has always been woke. And in this case, it's always been diverse, he said. And this isn't new ground for the franchise. From Altair to Aveline de Grand Prix, to, I'm going to butcher all these names. Basically, all the protagonists of Assassin's Creed, they've consistently introduced protagonists from diverse racial, ethnic, and gender identities. History is inherently diverse, and so is Assassin's Creed and the stories we tell. So to be clear, our commitment to inclusivity is grounded in historical authenticity and respect for diverse perspectives, not driven by modern agendas. It literally is driven by modern agendas, because you see the literal term modern audience and all that other stuff thrown into everything that they make. This was 110% made for a modern audience, or else why would he have hip-hop music when he's killing people? And there's rumor that they're taking that out. I hope they do, because I think that sounded and seemed a little tone-deaf with the decision to do that, if I'm being completely honest. But it was 110% made for a modern audience. Now, apparently he also attacked critics of Ubisoft's diversity and inclusion policies, where he said he's clearly an advocate for, alongside these deep-rooted franchise values, is our commitment to recognize and listen to legitimate criticism as an essential part of the creative process. Well, these guys won't tell you what's legitimate criticism, because if you say anything, you're bad, you're a rage bait grifter. That's how they all operate. So there's no such thing as legitimate criticism, because they try to invalidate all of your arguments. That's how it works with these type of people. And they will invalidate everything that you have to say. All of a sudden, IGN scores matter, and the 9 out of 10 that IGN will give the game negates all of the controversy and all the criticism that they got. And he goes on to say basically a whole, I guess, glazing of their diversity and inclusivity policies, where the community helps us grow, evolve, and deliver better games. Today, we all, however, face the added challenge of distinguishing between genuine feedback and attacks driven by intolerance. So it's going, driven by intolerance. It's basically what we've seen Kotaku and other journalists say, that it's just a whole bunch of Gamergate bigots that are upset, and they're deep down inside they're racist, but they won't admit it. It's all that excuse to attack gamers. And they're saying the current climate's tough on their creative teams. They face lies, half truths, and personal attacks online. When the work they pour their hearts into is twisted into a symbol of division, it's not just disheartening, it can be devastating. What keeps me going is the resilience born out of conviction that I see in our teams every day. I'm especially proud of the Shadows team for staying true to the creative vision and the core tenets of Assassin's Creed. So, of course, playing the victim, saying all the gamers are the ones that are attacking. Sure, there's probably bad seeds, bad apples in the bunch. You can't eliminate all of that. But I think my criticism, for the most part, has been pretty fair. I don't think I've been hateful. That would be debatable. I know that there's probably some lefties that have seen my content that will debate that, but I haven't called any racist or call to arms or anything hateful towards anybody that's working on this. And he goes on to say, by choosing both Naoe and Yasuke, or Yasuke as some of you would say, they're expanding the narrative landscape, offering new points of view that challenge established norms found in many works of fiction while staying true to the history that shaped them. So if you're challenging norms, that means it's for a modern audience. I don't understand why they don't get that. And they're saying, at the end of the day, Assassin's Creed is not just a franchise. It's a platform for entertainment, dialogue, and discovery and understanding. Their commitment isn't just about reflecting on the past, but it's ensuring that the stories we tell continue to unite, inspire, and challenge players regardless of their background, and they'll continue to stand by these values. So they're doubling down on their whole diverse wokeness. And on paper, yes, that sounds good, but trust me, they're not having a diverse thing of perspectives. They want their echo chamber. That's why it's called wokeness, guys. They don't want people to challenge the narrative. They don't want people to think differently. All right? They're doubling down, saying it's not just a game, but something else together. It's a platform for meaningful exploration, he says. Reflection wrapped in the excitement of unforgettable gameplay. And it's that fusion of creativity, diversity, immersion, and fun that continues to define the franchise and connect it with players around the globe. You know what that sounds like? A fun game. But you're throwing in all these other woke buzzwords. And you can see he painted himself as in Ubisoft as victims. He says, the stories we tell, the characters we create, and the game worlds we build are instrumentalized by those who seek to silence creativity, to stoke fear, and incite hatred. Giving an opinion is not inciting hatred. It's not stoking fear. Saying that it's cringe that you're purposely putting a black guy as the featured protagonist in a game with decisions like hip-hop music is just giving an opinion. There's no way inciting hatred in that. The only people that incite hatred are the ones that are proclaiming that they're diverse. So, I don't know, dude. I think this dude has his ideas and stuff. These guys are already too far gone. You know, they only want the people that are in the echo chamber. And you can read this article on that Park Place. It's interesting to see that not even a month ago, the CEO of Ubisoft themselves, Yves Guillemot, and I hope I said his name right, said something else. He said, let me address some of the polarized comments around Ubisoft. I want to reaffirm that we're an entertainment-first company creating games for the broadest possible audience, and our goal is not to push any specific agenda. We remain committed to creating games for fans and players that everyone can enjoy. So the CEO of Ubisoft is saying one thing, but the Assassin's Creed Shadows head honcho is doubling down on this DEI nonsense. So is there trouble in paradise with Ubisoft? Is there some kind of like miscommunication? Is the CEO eventually going to, let people go after this Assassin's Creed Shadow game drops? We've seen a lot of rumors about Assassin's Creed Shadows coming up, especially now that it's been delayed. Honestly, who knows what's going to happen? I hope for the best for this company. I don't want it to fail. Somebody came in my chat the other day, oh, you just want to see game companies fail and close down and people lose their jobs. I've never, ever called for that. I'm just merely giving my opinion on what bullshit we're seeing put into the games and into the things that are all these narratives. And I wouldn't even have a problem with it if they allowed all sides to have their perspectives, but they don't. It's just like with everything else. You have to play nice. You have to walk on eggshells because you can't speak your mind. You can't say that you're right wing. You can't say that you're conservative because it's a problem to them. And it shouldn't be that way. It should be where everybody could basically be what they want to be. As long as you're not hurting anybody, and you're not hurting anybody by giving your opinion about Assassin's Creed Shadows. That's the dilemma here, is that, these guys play victim. They blame gamers. If this game fails, they're going to 110% blame gamers. Honestly, they really are. And I think that's the next step. But if Assassin's Creed Shadows fails, I think Ubisoft is going to be in a world of hurt, because Star Wars Outlaws underperformed. Skull and Bones definitely underperformed. Prince of Persia, they already made that team disband. No sequel to that. I don't think they had one hit in 2024. And everything that we see and read about them is bad. They're literally in trouble as a company. So I'm going to leave it there, guys. Let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you so much for watching, as always. Subscribe if you're brand new. We're on the road to 94,000 subscribers. And yeah, I'll see you on the next one. Thank you so much for watching, as always. Peace out.